Thank you, Joe, and appreciate my colleagues' leadership in opposition to a renewed JCPOA. This Biden administration effort to rejoin the Iran nuclear deal is flawed in at least three ways. One, flawed in process. Two, flawed in substance. And three, flawed in verification protocols. Flawed in process because, as my colleague Congressman Zeldin pointed out, an agreement of this magnitude should be submitted to the Congress in the form of a treaty. That's why I introduced the Iran Nuclear Deal Advise and Consent Act, which would require submission by the Biden administration to the Senate to treat this as a treaty. INARA is, of course, current law. I do not have confidence in speaking to the administration that they will submit this to the Congress because they don't have the support. They don't have Democrat support for this deal, and so they're going to, I predict, will violate the terms of INARA. Second, on substance, the maximum pressure campaign that the previous administration had engaged with was working. Iran's foreign currency reserve dropped 95% because of the reimposition of tough sanctions on Iran. The Iranian military budget dropped 25%, and Iranian militia proxies cut the pay of their fighters in half. Maximum pressure was working. Why on earth would we relieve that pressure is beyond me. And then finally, on verification, the Congress and the Foreign Affairs Committee specifically was briefed by Director General Grossi of the IAEA, and it was very clear to both Democrats and Republicans that under the previous JCPOA, verification was flawed because by the terms of the JCPOA, additional protocols were not in place. What that means is that when there is an undeclared site of nuclear activity, where there's evidence of nuclear activity at an undeclared site, typically the IAEA implements additional protocols where they are allowed to investigate those sites. The very terms of the JCPOA did not allow the IAEA to put into place those additional protocols. I have pressed the Biden National Security Team on whether or not additional protocols would be part of a second JCPOA. They have not answered that question. Look for that. As the press corps, you need to ask and press the Biden administration on these additional protocols. If there are no additional protocols, there's no verification. It is a flawed deal.
Thank you very much, Andy. We now have Congresswoman Claudia Tenney of New York.
Thank you so much, Joe.